Hey guys, this is Ray with InSource Media. If you're anything like me, when you sit down to make music, you want to get your idea from your head onto your digital audio workstation as quickly as possible. So today, we're going to talk about 5 different tips you can use in Ableton to speed up your workflow. So be sure to stick around to the end to hear them all. Okay, now let's get into it. And the very first tip I'm going to share with you guys is to change the key mapping for the record button and save that into a default template. Now, I think by default, Ableton has a hotkey for recording, and I think it's F9, but depending on the type of keyboard you have and the type of computer you're using, that could require you to hit the function key plus F9, which is just awkward to do. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into Ableton, we're going to right click this record button, we're going to come to edit key map. Now if you look at my screen, you see I already have my record button mapped to the R key, and I stole that from the Logic Pro playbook. Shouts out to all the Logic Pro users out there. If you are familiar with the way Logic Pro is set up, by default their hotkey for recording is the R key. So for me, that makes the most logical sense. Record, R key. But for you, you can use whatever key you want to use. Just make sure it makes sense to you. Once you have that set, what you're going to want to do is come over here and you're going to want to save this as the default set. So now every time you start Ableton, all you have to do to record is press the R key. Okay guys, so the next tip is to utilize your favorites. So if you look in Ableton, in the very top left corner, there is this section called collections. And if you were to click the edit button here, you see a list of different colors. For me, I already have these customized to my liking, but if this was your first time looking at this, what you can do is take one of these collections categories and you could right click it, rename it to whatever you want. We'll call this list of sounds that I like, right? And we can add this to our list of collections that show. Now what I can do is I can go into my plugin folder. Let's say I really like this Trap Soul VST, which I actually do is pretty cool. I can right click it, that list of sounds collection I just created, I can add this to that collection. So now when I'm starting a new song and I just want to get an idea out real quick, I know what sounds I like and I want to get right to those sounds without searching for them, all I have to do is come to this collections section here, load Trap Soul, just like that. Now the real cool thing about this collections, it doesn't just have to be VSTs, it could be anything that you can navigate to in Ableton. So for example, let's say you have a favorite drum kit that you like. You can even come in here, add your favorite drum kits, and let's say I like this kit, right? Let's add it to the list of sounds I like. And now when I come here, boom, there it is. My favorite VST and one of my favorite sound kits. So bonus tip right now, organize your sounds. Let's say you do have a bunch of sounds that you actually do use all the time. What you can do to even increase that workflow is if you come down to your sound kits, you see I have a favorites folder here. This is just a collection of all of my favorite sounds. So from all of these kits that I have, the ones I frequent and use the most, I just add it to my favorites. And guess what you can do with your favorites? You can even add that to your collection. So now you got your favorites inside your favorites. Hey guys, hit that like button if you find the information in this video helpful, and be sure to subscribe to see more videos like this in the future. And let's get back into it. Our third tip, which is to create what I call a current idea project. Right, and where this idea came from is when I first started making music, I used to save each and every single idea I came up with. Nowadays, I don't save every project. Like if it doesn't sound right, I just won't save it. I'll start something new. Let's be real, not every project you make is going to get finished. The idea of the current idea project is to kind of have a safe space to where you can kind of have an idea sit, come back to it, listen to it again. You know, you may say, hey, this really sounds good, let me go ahead and finish that. Or you may say, man, what was I thinking? And just start something brand new. So what I have here is a quick little beat to illustrate this. I'm gonna let you hear it in a second. So that's my beat. Now let's say I'm not sure about that. I just want some time to kind of walk away, let my ears refresh, and then come back to it and then listen to that same idea and think, do I really want to keep this? Do I want to commit this to hard disk? So the easy way to just kind of make that decision and just kind of make it easier for yourself is, what I do is I just save it as my current idea. In my root folder for all of my Ableton projects, I just have this basic vanilla current idea project, and all I do is just save it over it. Boom. So now I have this saved, so I can walk away, come back to it. And let's be real, like if you don't come back to this idea, if you listen to it and you're like, and you start making something else, this probably isn't going to be a project that motivates you to create something to the best of your ability. This might be a throwaway beat. We all have enough of those in our project folders. Why make more? So this is just a simple way I use to just clear the clutter, make sure what I'm creating actually is something I want to create. So this brings us to our fourth tip, which is a real quick one. If you ever want to switch between your instrument that you're playing and the MIDI that you're actually trying to edit, I used to just actually double click on the track itself to bring back the instrument, and then if I wanted to see the MIDI, I would click on the MIDI clip, double click it, and then that would bring the MIDI back up. But a very quick way to do this is to simply press Shift and Tab, and boom, just like that. It's way quicker than moving the mouse over either the track or the MIDI clip to switch between the two. So this is just a quick tip to really kind of speed up your workflow. This one was a game changer for me because it saves a lot of time, and that's the goal of this. If I could save you time, then I did my job. This brings me to my fifth and final tip. Did you know you could organize your sounds by rank? Yeah, seriously, all you have to do is just in the navigation window on the left, click on any of the folders here. I'm clicking audio effects, for example. Then I can just come here on the top navigation bar here, right click it, hit rank. Now you can see the plugins that you use most frequently, and it ranks it. So you can see here I use EQ8 a lot, and it keeps track of every single sound that I happen to use a lot. This doesn't just work for audio effects, this works for your sounds. If I will go to my sound kits folder, if I look in my my favorite sounds, you see that these are kicks that I use a lot. It's a very cool and quick way to look at what you use a lot and to just kind of speed up that workflow to get to the sounds that you like the most. Okay, yeah, so that was it, y'all. That was my 5 tips to speed up your workflow while working in Ableton Live. Now there are plenty of workflow hacks, tips, and tricks that I did not cover in this video. So be sure to leave a comment down below with some of your favorite workflow hacks so that we can all learn together. Alright, that's it for now. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Later.